Hey guys, this is Dustin Neely. I am live from the orphanage where my son is in Ghana, Africa. I am dirty, I am stinky, but I'm having an awesome time. Over the past few days, we've had the privilege to go and feed about 600 people. We've handed out soccer balls, we've handed out soap, we've played with the orphans. I've got to spend some quality time with the young boy that we are hoping to bring home as our son in just a few months. I mean, it has been truly a blessing. And I wanted to take just a moment and share some of the reflections that I've learned along the way. I think the first one is that a robust view of the sovereignty of God is helpful in the United States because it's biblical, but I think it is mandatory when you leave the country. And we've been working through the Old Testament as a church together, so I've been talking a lot about this. It comes up time and time again in the Old Testament. And I was just thinking about that as we drove around places that we didn't know where we were going. We weren't entirely sure that our taxi driver knew where he was going. The roads are horrible. I mean, it's a third world country, and where we are is far more developed than a lot of where my friends are here in Africa. So it is good to know that God is in control. It is good to know that God has called us here and is sustaining us while we're here. And it's good to put that truth to work in the United States as well. So I would encourage you to do so. I think the second thing that I've been struck by here is that all the statements that people make about the poorest Americans really being better off than even wealthy folks in a third world country, by and large that is true. Now I'm sure there's a few exceptions here in Ghana and obviously in the States as well. But by and large, I mean, we're in a developed place called Teshi. It's about 30 minutes from where we flew into, called Accra. And even at its most polished, this is a rough place. I mean, poverty is everywhere. They burn their trash on the street every night. I mean, you just walk down the street and you have to cover your face because it's smoky and filthy. I mean, this is a rough place. And so we really need to be thankful and really need to be praising of God for all that He has given us in the United States. And obviously we have a responsibility to use the wealth, whether He's given us a great deal or a little, to help folks in our own country and folks that are here. I mean, to think about how a little bit of money in the United States goes a long way here in Ghana. Number one, because of the exchange rate. And number two, because things are cheaper here and you can get a lot done. It has been really convicting to me, and we're going to go home and going to try to figure out some ways that we can serve. And I'm going to let you know some ways that we can do that on the blog here together. And that's something really to think about. I think, number one, to be thankful for what we have back in the States, but also to think about how we can leverage what God has given us to help our brothers and sisters that are over here. And I think the final thing that's just really gripped me, there's the work that you do when you're in country, and then there's the work that God does in you while you're in country. And I knew that coming in. I mean, you know when you're going to go to Africa, hey, I'm going to see things, I'm going to experience things, I'm going to be challenged, I'm going to be changed. But you really don't know it in the way that you will know it when you're here. So I would encourage you to consider taking a trip to Africa, taking a trip to see and experience some poverty that is unlike what you would see in your own city, just to get that perspective, and then also for the difference that it makes in your leadership when you return home as well. Because I have no doubt that myself and the team that's here with me, my wife and one of our deacons, we will lead in our respective ministries differently because of the time we've spent here together. So I would encourage you guys that are watching this to consider doing the same. Hopefully we'll have some more of these coming up soon. Take care.